Hello YouTube, Blue State Refugee here. Today we're going to make a macaroni and cheese stuffed meatloaf that we're going to wrap in bacon. We're going to bake that off in the oven. Now, ideally, we'd like to smoke this, but that's not an option. So, what we have is just a little bit of bacon drippings here. Always save those. They're priceless for cooking, rendering things down. They add a lot of flavor, and if you want to really get a good caramelization on an onion, you have to use an animal-based product, whether butter, the bacon drippings, or lard. I've noticed that with canola oil and with olive oil, you really don't get a good deep caramelization. So what we have here, in addition to the small omelet pan and the bacon drippings, is we have one onion, or actually, one shallot cut real fine, 3 hot peppers out of the garden that I just minced up, and a whole carrot that I peeled and then I diced up into small pieces. And we're going to sweat this down, and this is going to be the base for our meatloaf. Now, normally I'd also put celery in here, but I didn't have any, so this is one of those recipes where you improvise and adapt and overcome based on what you have in the house. So ideally, we're gonna get this all sweated down, and then we're gonna let it cool. And then this is going to be kind of like a flavor base component of our meatloaf. We have 2 pounds of some lean ground beef, and obviously we have some macaroni and cheese of a video that I made earlier. I'll post a link to that in the bottom. And then we're gonna take the whole big log of mac and cheese and meatloaf, and we're gonna wrap it in a bacon matrix, a lattice if you were, and I'll also post a link to that video, so if you haven't seen it, you can catch up, so you too can learn how to weave with bacon. And it's coming up nicely now. Like I said, we're going to sweat this down. I'm not going to add any salt or anything at this point. Smells nice. Smells really nice. The better caramelization you can get on these vegetables now, it's going to add layers and layers of flavor down the road when we go to build the whole dish. Oh, pardon me. Give that a little turn down there. So I'm going to finish sauteing this off, and we are going to let it cool, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how we finish this off. Alright? Stand by. Hello YouTube. We're back. Our mirepoix is all cool. So now what we have in our bowl is 2 pounds of very lean ground beef. We're going to add in our vegetables that we sauteed down. Remember, that was carrots, shallots, and some hot peppers from the garden. And to that, we're going to add a package of Italian dressing mix. You know, the kind you put into the bottle and add the vinegar and the oil and make your own. This is an excellent seasoning for a lot of different things. Even have used it to make a really nice dip for vegetables. And then to that, we're going to add 2 eggs, which we have here. Okay. 2 eggs. And now we're going to start with a cup of breadcrumbs. We may have to add more as we go to adjust the moisture. But I want to try to keep this on the dry side because I'm going to wrap it in bacon and then probably, say, a half hour before it's done, baste it with either barbecue sauce or ketchup. And we're just gonna get this rough mixed, and then we're just gonna dig in with our hands. The best mixing tools we were ever provided with. Okay, get that spoon out of the way, and clean off some of the little bits. Keep them in the pan, and go right at it. I don't generally like to over mix my meat, but because of the vegetables and everything, we want to make sure it's really incorporated up nice. Okay. And this looks like the 2 eggs and the 1 cup of breadcrumbs are going to be just fine. Everything's coming together. You can't rush this. This is where you get a good result in the end. I know that when you mix meat, you develop myosin, which is a type of glue within the meat, and it helps it to stick together. You can see that's coming together nicely. I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to set that aside. Clean the stuff off of the board here. And rinse my hands quickly. Now, what we're going to do is just brush this board off real quick with a towel. We're going to lay down some clear plastic wrap. And this is just going to help us to roll it. Take that off there. We're going to put our mixture down onto our plastic wrap. We're going to press this out. We want it to be maybe an inch, half-inch thick, perhaps. A little more stable here. Slide over, staying in frame. Yep. And all I do is I find the high spots and try to knock those down. Keep everything somewhat symmetrical. Obviously this is going to be kind of a little cute project. This will be good for kids. Alright, so that looks about right. And go for a little more rinse. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab some leftover macaroni and cheese that we made the other day, and we're going to just lay that in, keeping it away from the edges. Try to get a nice layer. This is very dry the way it is. I made it a little extra dry because I knew I wanted to try this recipe. and we're going to roll it towards this end, and the stuffing is going to spread. So we're going to leave maybe just a little touch more, and that's about it. Alright, so I'm going to rotate it this way, and we're going to roll it away from us using the plastic wrap to help. As you see, the stuffing wants to roll away, so we're going to persuade it to stay right where it is. And we'd like this to be fairly tight. And that came out pretty good. I'm going to try to close those ends up. Now ideally, we would like to refrigerate this, let the flavors all come together. You could probably do it for a couple hours or even overnight, but we're kind of hungry right now, so we are not going to follow that process. We're just going to take our meat the way it is. It looks pretty good. I'm going to slide this over here, and then we're going to bring in our bacon, which we have already set up. I'll post or put an annotation to the video on how to make that. And then basically we're just going to follow that same process of rolling. Looks pretty good, centered wise. And we're going to bring that up. Now this you want a little tighter than you probably think it should be. The nice thing about using this plastic wrap is it really helps to keep everything nice and tight. And there we go. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could refrigerate that, let the flavors build, but I think it's going to be fine just like it is. So we'll set that to the side. Now I have just a regular baking rack on inside of a shallow pan, and to this we're going to add that right to the center. Just make sure our bacon is all kind of tucked. And as for seasonings, you can season that however you wish. I would probably not want to put any more salt on there because of the bacon. And the mac and cheese had a little bit of saltiness to it. So for now, I think I'm just going to leave it just like it is. We're going to bake it in a 250 degree oven, probably for close to 3 hours. And like I said, about a half hour before it's done, we'll baste it with some nice barbecue sauce or ketchup. So we'll bring you back when we're about ready to take it out, and we'll show you how it turns out. All right? We'll see you then. And we're back. Hello, YouTube. Longest 3 hours in cooking history. The house smells delicious. We're about 10 seconds to go. About 35 minutes ago, I basted it with some barbecue sauce, and it's should be time to come out now. So here we go. And there it is. Very nice. Nice mahogany color. A little bit of juice. Let me get a little zoom on that so you can maybe see it better. And there it is. Boy, does that look delicious. Alright, so I've going to let this cool, but I really want to slice it and finish this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the end right here and let you see what it looks like. And there it is, stuffed with the macaroni and cheese. And that looks delicious. Again, we'll try to zoom in. So, if you like this video and you think it has some value, please like, share, and subscribe. Give this a try. I mean, it's not something you do every day, but this could be the nice feature entree of your next Super Bowl party. So remember, it's important to think free and act free, to truly be free. Long live the Republic.